Paradox Interactive is betting their future on two games. One could be a guaranteed win, I'm pretty sure, and one that might be their most riskiest and expensive gambles ever. In a recent interim report released by Paradox Interactive, they shared that revenues were down from January to June 2025 compared to last year due to the fact that they didn't have to cancel a major game in development such as Live by You, which was a major cost to their business. But the biggest takeaway in the report is CEO Frederick Wester stating that they are banking on Europa Universalis V and Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 for a stronger future earnings. They have probably spent a whopping amount on this game and are hoping that this will be a big major release for them. Sure, when they first announced it, fans were excited as Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines is a bit of a classic, released way back in 2004 and developed by RPG specialist studio Troika Games. Also, they make very buggy games, but with a lot of heart and uniqueness to them. But when the drama unfolded over the years of development, people were very concerned and then eventually apathetic. The initial Bloodlines 2 revealed by Hardsuit Labs nailed the vibe of the first game. It had different vampire factions, 5 of them if I recall correctly, and you'd get to play them rather differently, very much like the first Bloodlines. But somewhere along the way, things started to fall apart. After 5 years of working on the game, Hardsuit Labs and Paradox Interactive fired the creative director and writer in 2020, and then eventually Paradox Interactive fired the studio making the game in 2021. Things were tense, there were rumors of toxic work culture and worse, and the fans were uncertain whether this game would even be made at the end of the day. Paradox Interactive did consider canning the project altogether, but eventually decided to work with another developer to finish the job. Enter the Chinese Room, a developer better known for narrative-driven games starting from Dear Esther to the Lovecraftian-inspired Still Wakes the Deep they recently released. Not exactly known for RPGs. I mean, most of their games are walking simulators, but at least they know how to write a good story, right? The first reveal of the Chinese Room Bloodlines 2 didn't go so well in terms of fan feedback. People felt the new Bloodlines 2, which it is rumored to have been almost like a complete rework from the Hardsuit Labs version, was a cut-down version of the original. Less vampire factions and very combat-heavy action that looks more like Dishonored rather than Bloodlines. This is a common complaint from fans. If you watch this gameplay showcase, I think you will agree combat felt super repetitive, at least it looked super repetitive. It seems a bit simplified, not saying the original Bloodlines combat was great mind you. It actually wasn't, but the focus was more of it being an RPG. The last we heard about Bloodlines 2 was Paradox stating they are targeting for an October 2025 release, and it's getting close, yet no news of a definite release date. Can we expect another delay? The news that the Chinese Room going independent is also a concern that may or may not affect the timeline of this game. Can it be anything other than a disaster? This game has been in development hell for 10 years. It is Paradox Interactive's very own Duke Nukem Forever.
Did you think I was gone forever?
And also Battlefield 6 releasing in October, at least rumored to be releasing in October, isn't good news for Bloodlines 2, which while not in direct competition with a squad-based first-person shooter, BF6 could be a big factor that could cannibalize sales and attention in that month. I am expecting Paradox Interactive to announce something soon about Bloodlines 2, perhaps when EA confirms the release date of Battlefield 6. We might see yet another delay, honestly. It is pretty clear to me that Paradox Interactive is rather tired with delays and the troubles of this game. In fact, in an interview last year, the deputy CEO expressed that it's not something they would like to go through again. A Bloodlines 3? No. They don't want to take the burden of a Bloodlines 3 under their studio again. Now, if Bloodlines 2 is the uncertain wildcard, Europa Universalis V is an obvious winner. This was expected. Creative director Johan Anderson had been hinting about it for a year, with even dev diaries of the unannounced game at that point. So it is Paradox Interactive's worst kept secret. EU5 is, I could say, a surefire hit, at least for the fans. The Paradox grand strategy types that love Europa Universalis. My concern is, will it be bigger than Crusader Kings 3, which is now the biggest first party title from Paradox? This is a bit too difficult to predict. From everything I've seen and read, EU5 is turning out to be one complex beast. To their credit, they have taken fan feedback from EU4, dropping the mana-based board game inspired design to move more towards a historical simulation, a bit more old school, a bit more nerdy and geeky. I've got to say, rather surprisingly, they took more inspiration, bits and pieces from their other games like Victoria 3 and yes, CK3, which at least on paper makes it seem like EU5 might be the most complete Paradox Interactive grand strategy game to date. This could be the ultimate nation-building grand strategy game. But with the plethora of systems and options, there is a fear of technical difficulties and getting this immense beast to work well to make a fun game, or it being a buggy mess. Well, it's after all a Paradox game, so that's to be expected. Just how messy will it be? I can't answer this, of course, since I never got hands on the game. Come on, Paradox, throw me a bone here. But I'm absolutely intrigued from everything I've seen. It's probably not going to be as approachable as CK3. Many people consider Europa Universalis as Paradox's most complex and difficult game to learn, so EU5 doesn't seem like it's changing that. So I question whether this game would have a broader appeal than just be a guaranteed sale to every existing EU4 player. Anyway, I'd like to know your thoughts about this. Firstly, are you excited for Bloodlines 2, or do you think this troubled game is going to be a disaster for Paradox Interactive? And secondly, Europa Universalis V, so far what do you think of that? Share your thoughts in the comments. While Fred Wester says they are banking on these two games, there may be a third game, a game they aren't announcing just yet. Maybe soon, maybe by the end of the year. The Hearts of Iron 4 lead Dan Lind recently hinted that he's working on this new top secret grand strategy game. Check out this video over here about my speculation of what it could be. Thanks for watching and farewell, noble friends.